being an endurance format, you know, we've really had to try and share it as much as we can, and we've come with a compromise setup between the two parties, and it's not really anything wrong with that. We've just got to make sure that you know, we tick over these next 30 to 70 laps before the last two stints to get our car right and work out what combination of drive we want in the car.
All right, mate, thank you. We can't wait for your first burst, the first stint. Good luck.
You think you're looking forward to it?
Good luck for the rest of the day. Thanks, mate.
Thank
Marcus
you.
Ambrose
Thanks.
joining us from pit lane. And I can report from the timing monitor that another lap record has fallen. It's right there on your screen. Mark Scaife now at 2:09.561 on lap 25.
Ellery's getting closer to this bunch, but he's reporting on the radio that he's just beginning to lose the rear tyres a little bit, so they've told him to settle down and don't push too hard too soon. And Lowndes is working hard on the back of Tander.
Everything all right?
Recap where we are in the Bob Jane T-Marts 1000. We've got Greg Murphy, our pole sitter, still out in front. All of these guys on this page of your PlayStation 2 race score are yet to come in for their compulsory pit stop, the first. So too, John Clellan and Baird, and Lowndes makes a move on guard Tander. Up Mountain Straight, around Conacher Bend, and gains another position. The Cat Ford on a flyer. We'll take a break from the mountain. Come back and join us right after this.
Well, the pace is on here at Mount Panorama to give you an indication. Last time around, the top 18 drivers, with one exception, was Garth Tander, were lapping in the 2:10s. A little bit mixed up this time around. There's a bit of dicing going on, but Greg Murphy still solidly in the 2:10s, and right behind him, Craig Lowndes put in a 2:9. A couple of 2:11s behind that. Good solid pace. The V8 Superstars from Melbourne, the final episode for this year. They'll have plenty to talk about. November 21, 03 86257 444. Lines open now.
That lap of Lowndes just completed is the fastest lap of the race so far for him on lap 28. So as the fuel load burns down, that car's coming into phase nicely. They haven't stopped yet.
They keep the eyes on speed. Yeah, it's interesting watching Murphy. He's sort of setting the pace for all the teams that are yet to pit. He's done 28 laps, and that's including a safety car period, 2 safety car periods, and that. So depending on when Murph comes in for his first stop, it might give us an indication of what the fuel burn's like, including the odd intervention of a safety car.
And Craig Lowndes has been crunching out some awesome numbers. He's up to second. His teammate Glenn Seaton. We know all about it. How are you, Cito?
Thanks, Matty. I'm not far away from getting in. I'm actually a bit nervous, I got to tell you.
I was just about to say, how are you really, Cito?
I'm pretty nervous, to tell you the truth. I'm actually looking forward to the kids doing a sensational job, as Craig always does. So we've got a pretty good car at the moment. He's very happy with it. So we've still got a long way to go. We've been 9 laps in the past, and been in a good position and had it all come undone. So we've still got a long way to go.
Hey, Dick Ramsey, is that you? It's me.
Dick Ramsey. How you going, Crobbo?
All right.
Mate, I bet you'd rather be standing where I am than being up where you are.
Yeah, but it's easy to do that from here. You can sort of pick the right spot to get in the right time in the right car, can't you?
That's right. But no, like I said, it's been pretty well clockwork, but there's still a long way to go. Hasn't there been some carnage this race? Unbelievable.
Yeah, been some silly stuff, some pretty silly stuff.
There's been some very silly stuff, particularly across the top of the mountain. That one that blocked the circuit was just crazy. So.
Hey, Cito, what was your thing like in the warm-up this morning? You've been chasing the car a little bit. Do you reckon you've got it in phase pretty well?
The car's pretty good. The balance of the car's very good. It's only through the chase we've been struggling with the car with the front dampers, but it's getting better, and naturally that's the only place that the car's probably a little bit weak. But besides for that, the car's very strong everywhere else.
We'll let you get back to it and be nice to that bloke behind you, Mr. Flint. He pays the bills.
Yeah, he sure does.
And while Craig Lowndes has been turning some impressive numbers, Scaife has done it again. He's mid-pack at the moment, but he's now chopping through his own lap record times. It's now 2:09.441 on lap 29 from Mark Scaife, whose 16th position on the road. We estimate corrected position about 9th. 2:09.441. The lap record now belongs to Mark Scaife. He's chewing into his own times, but isn't this an impressive performance from Craig Lowndes?
Certainly got the speed. Let's hope they've got the reliability. There have been reliability issues with this car throughout the season. And hopefully things will all come together for them at the right time.
Where the car was weak earlier in the weekend was down the bottom of the straight. It was really pounding across those bumps there. Here's Ellery having a lunge on the Repco Valvoline car.
He gets another spot. Wow. So Stephen Ellery moves up to third now.
He's got some pace in that thing, hasn't he? Craig Lowndes motoring down Conrod Straight. The 5 fastest lap times recently recorded. Scaife, that's a new lap record as the Bates machine limps back to pit lane. 2:09.44 on lap 29. And Scaife, in fact, has the 3 fastest laps so far. So fighting back from that early altercation with the spinning Jason Bargwanna car.
Remember, we've had a few laps of full course yellow here, so the pit stop window for these cars that have continually stayed out will actually open. Tander's off the road.
Wow, that's down at
pit entry. Into pit entry.
Too hot, arrived too hot.
Well, we've seen more experienced drivers than Garth get into trouble coming into that pit entry road. Rusty?
I've got to say, guys, I don't know if it was necessarily too hot. The Rick Bates car came into pit lane just beforehand, and it had smoke trailing from some sort behind it, either gearbox or differential. And there was a warning to a number of crews over the radio as they came through Caltex or through the chase, just to be wary of fluid on the track. I wonder if there's some fluid from another car. And Tanner's gotten a little bit skatey as he's coming to pit lane. Jamie Whincup is on board this car. Fresh set of tyres. They're just waiting for the fuel. Whincup away.
Pit lane speed, Jamie.
Yeah, Rusty's exactly right. The car's come in, Rick Bates' car. It's got oil out of it all over here in pit lane. It's dragged it all the way up pit lane. It's under the car now. The team just getting ready to open the bonnet on this car.
Well, that explains the drama there. A few people have been trapped over the years. Here's the replay. The Strathfield replay shows what's happened. He's trying to pull it up. It's getting all crossed up on the oil. He can't make the left-hander. Oh. He was so lucky not to get stuck in that bunker there.
Lucky not to do any damage, too, to the front spoiler, particularly.
Momentum kept it going. Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you, that was a real let-off.
Yep. This is all the gravel from that trap that he's brought with him.
And has that picked up anything in the radiator intake, and will that have any impact later on? There's a lot of garbage goes in there. This is Whincup.
Plenty of pressure on this young man's shoulders. There was the expectation that Nathan Pretty was going to join Garth Tander at Bathurst after partnering him at Sandown. But Gary Rogers monitoring through the week. He left his decision till very late. Eventually put the young 20-year-old Jamie Whincup in alongside Tander. That's an interesting indication. This one of Tander's car was one of the cars that ran through without stopping for a splash and dash during that safety car period, so they've done 30 laps.
Bradley Jones has a look on the inside of Paul Radisich at Murray's corner. Radisich has to hold on. Jones sneaks past and gets him. Rat went wide.
That was a couple of guys giving each other a bit of respect there. It was kind of, they knew that it was going to be an awkward moment. Bradley was sort of trying to get out of it. He went right down the inside on the dirty line, and the 65 car, which I think has got Radish still at the wheel. He knew he was there, but you can never sight them. The peripheral vision in these cars is very tough because of the seats, because of the roll bars inside the car and the rear wing. So he sensed the car and he stayed out high and wide. Cost himself a lot of track time to do it, but he let Bradley go by.
It was a nervous time also for Garth Tander. Coming into pit entry, he's with Greg Rust.
Just down here in the Valvoline Cummins garage with him now, guys, and just describe what the grip level was like as you came into pit lane. Was there oil down? It seemed as though there was.
No oil down. Just no grip, and just went in a bit hot and overshot and had a trip through a sand pit, but no big deal. We got it going again. So
were the rears starting to go away on you at the end of that stint?
Yeah, they were going away a little bit, so we'll probably make a change. Made a small change then at that stop. We'll probably make another small change when I get back in. But the car's really good on full tanks, but as the fuel load comes out, it gets a bit lively in the rear, so we'll just work on that during the race.
Pretty staggering early pace. Just cast your mind back for us. Give us your side of the story on the clash with Brad Jones early.
I don't know whether Brad, he just ran wide on a couple of corners and Scafey nipped through, and I had to go down at the elbow, the same place where Scafey got through, and I thought he saw me coming, and I just got up the inside, and obviously Brad didn't see me there, and we came together and around he went. So I hope they got going again and they're not in too many trouble. But yeah, I thought I was far enough down there. But anyway,
time for a bit of recuperation. Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, mate.
Racing incident, as they say.
When you come off the racetrack and you've been accustomed to a certain level of grip in the cars, and you go into the pit lane approach, it's dusty and grubby and it doesn't get the rubber down like the racetrack.
The other Orcon Ford car 20 of Johnson and Wade Goes wading through the grass at the chase, and also a report from the stewards that car 888, Andrew Jones and John Clellan, pit lane speed violation.
Ellery's pitting and so is Brad Jones, so this is critical for both these two.
The top four will start to shuffle in now, and the deck will be completely rearranged because we're on lap 33, so the fuel window effectively of how far you can go on 120 litres is starting to run out.
Tell you what, Murphy and Lowndes are still out there, though. That's 32 laps completed, and they haven't come in for fuel.
Bow slips in. You see all the brake dust rattle out of the wheels then. It's Kim Jones on the fuel in his bank robber balaclava.
Brad Jones changes over to John Bow. Greg Rust is on the spot.
Well, Brad's just gotten out of the car. They're telling him to reset something on the dash for John Bow before he heads out. We might have a word to Brad here and just find out how that car was during the stint. Was it okay for you?
Sorry, I didn't hear anything.
An interesting stint. How was the car for you?
Well, you know, it was a bit hairy at the start. I mean, I couldn't believe that Garth was dicing that hard at the start, but, you know, that's the way it goes. You know, racing's racing, rubbing. It didn't really didn't affect us too much. We crawled back up again. The car's pretty good. It's got a lot of mid-corner understeer and it's floating over the corners, and I'm not sure how we can clean that up during the race, but once I got back in touch with the leaders and I could see them, I could sort of feel I could run at their pace. I just had to be patient, or we got to move.
We got the other car coming in, the other Aussie Mail car coming in. That might be for a...
Yeah, that's the drive-through, Rusty.
Yeah, I just got caught in traffic. You know, once you get back there, just got to really be patient, work your way back past them again. And, you know, I had a bit more speed than the two or three cars in front of me. And when I dropped back, I thought I could run as fast as Murph. So let's see, long race.
Brad, quickly, you didn't come in when the safety cars came out for a splash of fuel. That's a crucial move?
Well, you know, it was half a dozen of one, 6 of the other. Just decided that it was better to, you know, to try and run to 4, stay out. You know, we're out of sequence with most of the others now. So we'll just see what happens. I really think it's too early to be topping up. I mean, it does give you a safety measure, but we needed to stay out of that mess in the middle of the pack. I was already in there. I didn't need to get any further back. Thank you.
They pumped around 115 litres by our count into the Aussie Mail Falcon, so that's a full top-up. And John Bow, a two-time winner here on the mountain, is now behind the wheel of car 21. And the race is certainly on. The top 4 have now started to complete their compulsory pit stops. Take a break from the mountain, be back with more right after this.
Welcome back, and you're just in time as our race leader, Greg Murphy, makes his first pit stop of the afternoon. Driver change here with Rick Kelly, the youngster, jumping in. Craig Lowndes is still out on the circuit on lap 35 now. Bearing in mind, we've had a few safety cars, so they may be able to run a little bit longer on that fuel loading initially than they would have thought. Greg Rust.
Tyres look in good condition, guys. Just waiting for the remainder of the fuel to go in. It's done. Rick Kelly strapped in, and he's away.
Go.
Rick Kelly rejoins.
Reset fuel pump to the main,
They had the reserve pump on to get the car home, so back to the mains, reset the fuel button on the steering wheel, zero the fuel so they can see the burn through this stint. Readjust the brake bias, put some bias towards the rear because you've got weight over the rear tyres, and pick the rear bar up to stiffen up the rear of the car to cope with the nearly 100-odd kilos of fuel on the back of the car.
Is that standard practice for the teams to switch to reserve? You want to draw your fuel load that long?
Some people don't run them anymore, but there are some teams that do, and you rehearse it during the week so you know when you get a cough how far it's going to go. Generally, you make sure that your reserve's got a minimum of a lap, possibly 2. To obviously get you home.
Taking that fuel load.
According to my calculations, this car's burning about 150 to 200 mil less per lap than some of its nearest rivals, and that could be actually critical as the race burns down. I reckon that 200 mil a lap here is going to work out to be